Excuse me. Good evening and welcome to December 18th, 2023 Common Council of Connersville. All rise for pledge allegiance, led by Councilwoman Jenny Barrett.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing if you'd like for invocation.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
You know, Isaiah chapter 9, verse 6 says, "For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulder. And his name shall be called Wonderful, Counselor, the Mighty God, the Everlasting Father, and the Prince of Peace. And of the increase of his government and peace there shall be no end." Isaiah penned that 400 years before Christ was here. That's a prophecy. So now we celebrate it. Let's pray. Oh God, we come before you with thankful hearts. We thank you for making each of us in this room in your own image, with dignity and worth. You've given each one a calling to be good stewards of your creation and to love our neighbors as ourselves. I thank you tonight for our mayor, city staff, city council members, and the servants all over this city. We all come to this room as complex human beings, each carrying burdens, trusting that you alone can hold us together in your love and peace. Help us, Lord, to trust you more as we learn to lean on your everlasting arms. In the name of Jesus Christ, amen.
Amen. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Cough drop, sorry. Okay, I'd like to welcome everyone. Remind you to turn your cell phones off. We'll begin with roll call.
Councilman Robb?
Here.
Councilman Gray?
Here.
Councilman Collins? Here. Councilman Warner?
Here.
Councilwoman Barrett?
Present.
Councilman Williams Jr.?
Present.
Councilwoman Phillips?
Present.
Okay, everyone has the minutes from the December 4th, 2023 regular meeting. Are there any additions or corrections to those? If not, entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
Motion. Second.
Motion is second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Move on down to new business. Brad, you'll come talk about the trash.
You should all have in front of you the bid specs that we came up with for trash. There's several different options on there, up to and including having somebody pick up the trash for us. And we've all heard different numbers, and we just wanted to find out what they were for sure. And we'll also be bidding out trash in the same way that we do it presently. And trying to get prices on recycling, and some of the different places do recycling different ways, so when we get the bids back, they may all look a little bit different, so we'll have to study them and check into it. So we're asking for permission to bid these, or we
We're just letting you know that we're doing this.
Okay, so mainly just for information today, letting you know that we're gonna bid these out, and we'll be looking at these.
The second meeting in January.
Yeah. Thanks for always being there. Can you help?
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you, Brad.
Item B, approval of resolutions 2023-93 through 94. Rosemary?
And we can do C as, along with that, the Indiana Code
Correct.
transfer. Resolution 2023-93 is a resolution to transfer $1,040 from MVH other materials to DOT non-reverting. $140,000.
Yeah.
Sorry, I got distracted. Resolution 2023-94 is a resolution to reimburse $133,412.24 into Council Solar Energy. Resolution 2023-95 is an Indiana Code transfer. No, it's not. It's a reimbursement of $380 into cable telephone.
Okay, go over a couple things. The first one there for the 140,000 in VH, that's how I spell, correct?
Yes.
Okay, what we've done with that is we've had really a couple mild winters, and we've got enough ice melt stored up The problem we have is our shed is literally falling over. I don't know if you've seen it. I was gonna take some pictures, I need to go over and get it done. But there's one side against where the pavement is, I was walking, I didn't wanna walk. It's literally bowing out and breaking. So we didn't use that money for ice melt. We wanna take that money and move it into budget, because I don't have time to get, we couldn't get it done before this year and get a new ice melt built. What we wanna do is do something with concrete walls and more of a canvas top. That way, if anything ever happens in the future, all I gotta do is replace the top. Right now, we gotta replace the whole structure because it's made out of wood, and road salt and wood just, they clash. I don't care if it's true or not, but and it's really just bowed out and breaking, so it's not gonna benefit us, but the next generation of leaders, when they have to do something different, all I gotta do is replace the top, and that's it, and it'll still be viable. So that's what we wanna do with that money there. I did wanna explain that one. Is there any other questions on any of the transfers?
I have a question about solar energy. Can you explain?
80% of the solar fields are in utilities, and I make one payment, and utilities pays me to make that payment. That's their portion of it.
Now, do we have a maintenance program for those? Because they're supposed to be maintained and washed and that sort of stuff, so
Yes.
I didn't know who washed them or who takes care of that.
It's all with PSG.
Okay.
Any other questions from council? I'll entertain a motion to approve resolutions 2023-93, 94, and 95.
So moved.
I heard a motion, did I hear a second?
Second.
Second, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Move on down to the department reports, Chief Jones.
Good evening. Okay, monthly report for the Connersville Fire Department for November. Start off with the overtime. Total overtime for the month was $11,209.69. The manpower shortage portion of that was $10,011.25, and then the FLSA overtime was $665.55. We did have some fire call in. That amount for that was $532.89. The overtime was up a little bit during that month. We had a couple injuries. I had one guy off for a little bit, created some shortages, but we've got everybody back to work now, so that should come back down to normal. Any questions on that? Move on down to fuel usage. We used a total of 360 gallons of fuel for a total of $1,473.34. Next, you'll see our incidents for the month. We had a total of 179 incidents. 48 of those were fire related, 121 was EMS related, and we had 10 auto accidents. Next, you'll see our training hours. We had a total of 55 instructed hours of training for the month. 49 of those was fire related training, and 6 was EMS related training. We also did 12 fire code inspections for the month and had 15 hours of fire investigations. Below that, you'll see just a few more things to add. We did interview 4 remaining applicants from our application process. Mr. Barrett on the Board of Works also sits in on our committee when we have those interviews. We felt like if we do have opportunity to hire, we don't have anybody scheduled for 2024 to leave, but in case someone does have to leave, we felt like we had some good applicants there that we could choose from. The rest of our radios, our base station radios, they did get installed last week, so we're getting near the end of that project finally. I believe tomorrow they're coming back to town to finish up a couple things at the EMS building. And then our SCBA's, obviously, those came in, so we've been training with the combination, getting both pieces of equipment in at the same time, which obviously those are being used together, so that's been nice. So we've been doing a lot of training on those before we go live with those to make sure everybody's comfortable in using them and everything. But other than that, that's all I have. Anybody have any questions? Okay. If I don't see you, have a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Chief Bolos.
Good evening.
Evening.
All right, starting out with our incident reports for the month of November. Accidents are down. We had 27 accidents in November, opposed to 38 the month before and 54 prior to that. Officers are staying pretty active in our traffic violations. We made 144 stops. We had a total of 839 incidents for the month of November. Going to the monthly totals, overtime, we're at over 16,000. That is due to us being 3 down. Had one at ILEA, had an officer have another opportunity left us, and a light duty officer, so that contributed to the high overtime. Our gallons of fuel, we had 1,621 gallons of fuel. Any questions on those totals? There is a department for our training. We had 116 hours department training. K-9 had 18 hours of training. Detectives took in 8 new cases in November and closed out 3 of them. Also in department matters, Sergeant Phillips was promoted to lieutenant last month, replacing Brown as the lieutenant. So now I have a sergeant's opening. It's currently getting advertised within the department to get that position filled. A couple notes that the Connersville Police Department was involved in. We had our counselor Christmas crusade last week, or this past weekend, and the numbers were pretty high. We're pretty happy about it. We had over 75 kids that participated in shopping with the police officers. We had 20 plus officers that helped us from several different agencies. We had our agency along with Fayette County Sheriffs, Reed Health Police showed up. We had an officer from Hagerstown, Cambridge City, Wayne County Sheriffs, and probation. So we had quite a bit of help, and we needed it. I mean, we just want to thank all that helped donate to make that project successful. I mean, it's a really good program where we're able to help out, young kids in this community, and it's always positive to have them see that side of a police officer also. So, lastly, I just want to recognize and make sure people are aware that on December 6th, we lost one of our canines, Leo. He started in 2014 and to 2023, 9 years of service. Some of his accomplishments were 30 felony apprehensions. He seized 48 pounds of heroin fentanyl, 33 pounds of meth, 50 pounds of marijuana, 5 ounces of cocaine. He had over 35 miles of tracking, and he logged over 17,000 hours in his patrol vehicle. It's just not a dog or a canine. It's a very valuable asset and tool that we have in our department, and anytime one of those, one of our canines, especially in this situation, it's a tough situation. The dedication that they have, the handler has, and the canine himself, I mean, he has no due regard. He'll protect not only the handler but other officers on scene. So just want to recognize that. So any questions on any of my reports? All right, thank you.
Thank you. Sure.
Good evening. I'll be covering the November 2023 Ordinance Officers Reports. During the month of November, covered 26 different locations, identifying 43 separate violations that we were able to address. 21 of those were related to trash and rubbish, 7 related to junk, abandoned vehicles, and improper registrations, 4 related to weeds and grass, 3 incidents related to indoor furniture, such as mattresses, refrigerators, stoves being left outside around the houses and on the properties. 3 incidents related to dangerous buildings, 3 incidents related to sealing of vacant buildings, 1 incident related to accessory use of storage and recreational vehicles, and 1 incident related to parking and storage of standard vehicles. Some other projects I was working on, as I told you last month, I wanted to get an online submission form on the webpage, and it is up and operational now and has been used. So that is accessible from the Connersville Police Department's webpage and under Ordinance Enforcement. We've also created several documents to help assist the public. One document's a guide to vehicles, including boats, trailers, RVs, junk and abandoned vehicles, where you can store them, how you can store them on your property to make sure that you stay in compliance. Second guide relates to grass and weed maintenance, instructing everyone how tall it can be before it's a violation and at what stage the city can step in and take over and go ahead and abate the issues. A third is a frequently asked questions document. And I've also asked that the transfer station fee schedule be posted on the ordinance page as well, so that while people are coming to look at ordinance issues, possibly submit one, they can also see what it's going to cost to remedy the situation by taking it to the transfer station for various items.
Good idea.
Any questions?
Notice you have one down, you addressed an issue I have with West 10th Street.
Yes.
Where's that at?
Where's it at?
Yeah, as far as where you at on getting it
Sure.
cleared up.
So today was a follow-up day on the 18th on 10th Street. I have received no communication as of today, and I drove by and photographed the property again today. I did find out that that particular property owner owns multiple houses, so I'm not exactly sure which one it is, but I will partner with the city police to see if they have a phone number on record to where I can reach out to him by phone, or I will be trying each of his locations to deliver the notices to ensure that he has the ample time to actually address it before we start imposing fines.
There's been some issue with not only his trash in his yard, but animals being out without care, so to speak.
It is a tenant that lives there.
Right.
Yeah, so he would be responsible for the dog getting loose, but the property maintenance is definitely going to be the property owner, so I need to try to track him down. He's made no response from the address we have on file from tax records.
I think I know who you're talking about. That's understandable.
Any other questions?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Director Colter.
Couple of things. We felt like I spent a lot of time this last month interviewing. We hired a new part-time person at the office. We also got permission at the Board of Works today to hire Gary Naylor at the street department as supervisor. So I think that'll be a big help to get a full-time person over there, get them up and running after the first of the year. I wanted to tell you, as far as the trash running over the holiday, it's probably the least messed up year we've had for a while. Only one day will be run different. Monday's trash, the Monday, is that Christmas Day itself? Christmas Day's trash will be picked up on Tuesday. Everything else will run normal. So, that's very little disruption compared to some years. So, I wanted to ask, I talked about this a little bit, I think, the last meeting, but recycling of cardboard is getting to be a major issue. I'm going to start asking people as nicely as we can to please break down your boxes when you bring them over and throw them into the tote. It's a big deal because we smash it, but you can only smash those big old boxes. People throw, 8 or 10 of those big refrigerator boxes in there, that thing gets full in a hurry. And then we're just pulling air back and forth to the transfer station. So please, we're asking you to break down your boxes so we don't have to make it where we have to stand out there and watch people dump and that kind of thing. Just please break those down and help us all out. And I'll just tell you that we went to Glenwood, the mayor and I, for a meeting about the Glenwood Water Project. I think we finally got down to the details of the project, and now everybody understands where everybody's coming from a little bit better. I think we represented our city's position on the project really well. We're super interested in helping Glenwood get water, but we have to think of the people of Connersville first and, you know, run this place like a business. So I think we're all getting to be where we're on the same page to see if the project's gonna work out or not. Rushville seems to have some interest in extending the line onto Rushville, so that'll be a whole different conversation. And I don't think we know for sure what kind of amounts of water they're gonna be using. They're just throwing crazy numbers out. At the moment, we haven't honed in on it, so if the Rushville project comes about, it would require quite a bit of upgrading on our end, and we just have to see what that's all gonna look like. But I just kinda wanna keep you updated, because more and more over the next, I'd say over the next month or two, this thing's gonna get decided, what's gonna happen, and I want you to be in the loop. Did anybody have any questions about any of my reports?
I have a question about your new headworks. Is that gonna take care of microplastics and that sort of stuff?
It's really we have new screening equipment, and those
Right.
screens will do more than anything we've ever had in the past. Our screening right now is very, very little. About all we do now is grind up heavier materials when they come in, and this will filter out quite a bit.
What happens to that?
It goes into a dumpster, and it's considered special waste and goes to whatever landfill we choose to use. So the major purpose for that project is to allow overflows into that big hole that John's showing us right now. That picture was taken, I think, a week ago. and
Talking about
that-
the dirt hole?
Yeah, so far it's a dirt hole. They're gonna start pouring the floor in it here pretty soon. And that thing will hold 1 million gallons of overflow, and then that 1 million gallons will be pumped into the plant as the flows go down. And there could be, we have to study it for a few years after this gets completed and see how all this affects the system. But there could be up to 3 more of those that size installed at a later time, if need be, to fulfill our long-term control plan obligations. But we kind of have to monitor it for a while and see how this thing works with our other overflows back up, further up the city. Anything else?
Thank you. Director Powell.
Good evening. For the month of November, we had 8 hours, 18 minutes of video production, 14 hours, 10 minutes of original production. On our YouTube analytics, 7,735 views with 1,358 hours of viewing, 3,381 subscribers. Top content was the Spartan basketball versus Union County basketball game, the Lady Spartan basketball versus Shenandoah, and the Denise Flum tree dedication. I'm sure that Marla will talk about this when she comes up, but we also did the Santa photos for Christmas in the Park on December 7th and streamed that live as well. And the annual CHS Band and Choir Concert was produced, and it will air this Friday and Saturday at 8 p.m. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jim.
Chief Hardin.
Good evening. Everyone should have a copy of my monthly report for November. We had a total of 279 calls for service, which brings us year-to-date at 3,505. Staffing report, I still have one staff member off on workman's comp. See our fuel usage and the submitted fuel tax rebate. November 15th, Fayette County EMA and the Health Department jointly sponsored a radiation basics for first responders. I was just really impressed with the information. 25, 26 years I've been at this and never had a radiation class. Never really wanted a radiation class, but that's a different story, I guess. But the amount of radioactive material that crisscrosses the state of Indiana is unreal. And we're not talking large amounts. We're talking most of it will fit in a shoebox. It's just, it's everywhere. And it also was amazing the number of household items that have some level of radiation to them. And that's just the normal, it's just, there's nothing, these are commercially available products that have radiation in them. So it was very, very interesting. We also, Fayette County EMA and the LAPC board did a tabletop hazmat exercise on the 29th. We simulated a hazardous material release on Eastern Avenue. We're still, have not had one of these in a very, very long time, so we still have bugs to work out. But the one thing that was really nice was the amount of communication and the amount of bouncing ideas off of each other. That was really, I don't think you can, that's not something you can put down that you're going to do. That's something that either happens or it doesn't. And it does happen. It did happen very well for us. So there was a lot of really good communication and ideas and well, what if we do this versus this sort of conversations. So does anybody have any questions? Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Steele.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I just want to start off by saying that I had approval at the last Board of Works meeting to hire an assistant director, and I will be hiring. I have hired Grace Williams, and she has accepted the position, and she will start on January 4th as the assistant director. So we're excited to have her on board. I just have a short information for tonight. So we had Christmas in the Park. That event was last Thursday, December 7th, and that went really well. It was great. It's been great all year to see the community step up and participate in everything that we've been offering at the park. And the sponsorships, the individuals and businesses who have come out and put up booths at different events, and then all of the community members that have actually came and participated in the events that we have held at the park this year. So we had another successful event on December 7th. A big thank you to our Mr. and Mrs. Claus, who came out and had pictures all night long with the kids. We had a line at probably about 4:15 lined up around the building, and we opened the doors at 5, and they went until the very end of the event. And so they spent their entire evening taking pictures with all of the kids that came through the line. And then a big thank you to John and Justin for taking those pictures for us, and they also had it on Channel 3, as John said earlier. So it was just a great event. We handed out all kinds of giveaways. The Food Council was there, passed out food packets, and did a food demonstration for the families, and then we had games and crafts and everything. And also a big thank you to everyone who put displays in the park this winter to help us illuminate the park. It's just, it's really pretty, and it's been nice to see everyone participate in that. I do want to say that the Roberts Park won first place in the Whitewater Canal Scenic Byway Community Contest. So we were excited about that. And just congratulations to those who also were a part of the contest. John's Brothers General Store won for business, the business owner portion of it. And then honorable mention to Connersville Main Street. It's just been beautiful to see our whole town lit up this winter and everybody coming out to participate. Winter sports are happening right now. Basketball is going on. We have men's league getting ready to start in January. We have walking club is still taking place. We had actually a walking club on this past Sunday at the park, and so that's still happening. I do want to say that At the Board of Works meeting, we had the opportunity, the foundation had the opportunity to apply for the Lilly Endowment Grant, and they chose us to be a part of that. And so the Board of Works, they had approved this grant for us so that we could have a 5-year comprehensive park plan written for us. And so we are excited that that's something the park is going to be able to have. That will help us in the future to gain those grants. A lot of grants ask for a park plan. DNR grants, they want to see that if we're going to apply for any DNR grants. The foundation also wishes to see one as well. So it's just something important for the park to have. And so we will be working with the foundation on that written comprehensive plan. And the drive-through light display, I'll just say it's going through the end of December. So if you haven't been out to see it, I encourage you to get out and see it. And I also want to wish everyone a very Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Does anyone have any questions? Thank you.
Thank you. Going on to old business, on old business. Miscellaneous business. I got one thing I want to say. I know she's going to kill me for saying this. I tried to get her to be here tonight, but she didn't want to be here. Diana is retiring after 20 years. She's going to kill me tomorrow for even saying that, but just wish her the best of luck. It's going to be it's a big hole to fill in my office. She's been fantastic. I know when I came into office, I wanted her for her experience, and she has definitely proven that she has the experience. I mean, she has the knowledge, the background. It's amazing how many people, I'll just make a statement, oh, I know who to call. She picks up the phone, she remembers numbers like this, telephone number, it's amazing. But she's a tremendous asset. She's gonna be greatly missed, and I'm gonna miss her, and I just wanna thank her for her service. So, congratulations, Donnie, you definitely deserve it. Any other miscellaneous business? Public forum, anybody from the public have anything to say? All right, take a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, same sign. Have a good Christmas.